Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the European crossover webinar. And you can see here we did have a pretty good little pullback here in Bitcoin. I posted this chart late. Actually, it was up pretty late in Asia. I thought we might be even going to pull back here, but you can see here, generally I don't follow specifically on a 15-minute chart, but you can see that the market is how it's reacting on a 15-minute, because obviously we saw that big move yesterday on the report that Amazon was going to be hiring a Bitcoin, not a Bitcoin, but a cryptocurrency position, and there was a couple other things noted with that. We saw the market really take off. If we change this to, let's say, a 2-hour chart, it's not as clear, other than I did post this here or noted here. We had at the time when I forgot who it was that shared, it was post U.S. cash close, posted news on the headline, and immediately posted a chart. But we had this, you can see here, this gravestone doji. Really, it almost looks like a shooting star, but the wick isn't that long. But kind of hard, like you can see this area here, but hard to figure out where it's breaking. If you drop this down to a 15-minute chart, then you kind of see this move lay out. You can see as we broke up here to 39,000 pulled. And we had this ridge coming here just below 38,000. As the market broke through there and we kind of hung here, we took one more last dip, but 36,000, 263 is going to be the 38%. I was hoping that we might just drop down in here, stayed up kind of late thinking, okay, let's look for this one last drop. And as I mentioned, 263 is 38% from those lows at 29,299 all the way up here to 40,585. And if you look in here, 35,900 is 161%. We'll pull this up here. You see? And then that confluences with this level right here, 35,837. We'll probably still see one more drop, but keep your peepers on that one. Definitely want to go and keep it on that. So we'll put it back to where we usually keep it at, which is a 2-hour. And let's just go on and get into the news. Our economic data that we have for this morning. Actually, it looks pretty sparse. We don't really have anything here. We had some Eurozone money supply number data that comes out at the end of the at the top of this next hour. 5-year UK gilt auction. In about another hour and a half, and that's it until we come into the States. And we do have durable goods, and they'll be out at 8:30 Eastern. And house price index. And consumer confidence will be out at 10 a.m. Eastern. And Richmond Fed services will be out. Well, that's a lower tier report, but still, nonetheless, it'll be out. So let's go and take a look where we stand here with FX. With me. And I'll tell you what, FX has been, yesterday was really quiet, actually really pretty much across the board. We were fairly quiet. We'll pop into here quickly. We saw a little bit of a rebound, but albeit in a fairly tight range in the euro. But take a look at the euro, cable, and the Aussie. Now the Aussie saw a little bit of a hammer, but look how tight this range was. It was from 30 all the way up here to 87. Basically, it's just a 50 pip range. We did see, as I mentioned here, was a little bit of an extended move here in cable. That added up to it, and really we popped up. Remember, I think we had 37.65, which then the next level would be 38.90. We popped up above that. Look, here we closed just above this 38, and we're trading rather quiet today. And as I mentioned, the Aussie dollar. And then dollar yen, we saw a little bit of a pullback here. You can see here we had like what was like to refer to as a medium medium legged doji. Like I said, the wick isn't that long, but generally when you get because usually it's referred to as well, we have a long legged doji, you see more of a pronounced reaction. This wick is a little bit, the range is pretty tight. But generally what you do is you look for what has been the previous range, and that move has been to the upside. So generally when you get like a medium-legged, long-legged doji, you generally look for a move in the opposite direction. We have gone paired back from that close, which was 1040. Once again, generally, like I said, when you get this medium or long-legged doji, you get a counter move, and certainly if you went that direction or went that position, closes at 1037, we've already dipped down below 110. Take a look at the dollar index. Same thing, relatively quiet yesterday with a pullback, but staying within these ranges. So with that, we're going to get started now. The only thing is that we're just not seeing much movement. So I can tell you right now, the ranges were pretty much identical to what we have. So let's go on and get that started. So the euro closed at its best. Doggone it, it didn't update. What the heck? Hang on, let me just go and pull it from the screen. This is ridiculous. And I noticed that when I was up pretty late in Asia last night. And when I was doing the Asian analysis, all the I don't know what's going on with Thinkorswim, but all the stuff here, like we had yesterday, it was like brand new. The notes, so it was like it didn't save any of it. Now, not only did it not do that, it didn't even save the correct information on that. So hang on. Let me just go back to the it's frustrating. So euro closed at its best level, and well, actually that was correct. Euro closed at its best levels in 4 days among some mild short coverage. You can see here, you go 1, 2, 3, 4. That was the best in 4 days. We almost made it for 5 days, but you can see, you would think, wow, best close in 4 sessions, prior 4 sessions. But then again, look how you think a bigger move, but no, we're just in relatively mild short coverage because it just closed just above 118. Support remains the 1748, and resistance will remain the same at 1875. And really, it's all about that. As I mentioned, we can go back to this. We've been having this 1748 for actually almost a week. But you can see where we see that 1748 on a weekly. I think last week we got down to 1751, if I remember correctly, or 1752. This is going to remain the support. Obviously, there's a little dip down here to 35. Maybe we should go and move it to 35 in light of the move to 51. So let's go and do that. We had a move. Remember, we were only up, was it two pips last week when we were saying 48, and it bounced at stopped at 51. So if we do see that next dip here, and I don't think it may not go much beyond it, initially, but it's going to be right there, 1735. Resistance is still going to remain the same at 1875. Really got to do some work to get above this. And you can see right there comes in. It's hard to pull that up right there, but it's going to be 1875. Right there showing 1874, but if we pull the wick up a little bit higher, now that's a 76. But you can see the key. So that's where the real resistance is. You could look intraday, looking at 2 hour and make the case, well, actually, it's much closer. It'll only be 1830 or whatever the case may be, or right here at 1818, and we'd have to jump up beyond there, whatever. But that's where the real rubber meets the road from a key technical standpoint on a very, very short-term basis. In this sense, I mean, obviously, one could point, if you're looking here and say, oh no, the real resistance would come up in here at 1939. Yeah, but for the most part, where we're going to really clash, is going to be at 1875. So this remains the same. So with that being said, let's go on and move into the cable. Okay, well, so cable posted a solid rebound, closing at 38 even, or just above 38. Resistance will be the secondary level, because remember we had 37.65 and then 38.90. So resistance is going to be that secondary level of 38.90. So here. With support at 37.47. You can see we're actually trading on our lows here at 37.66. And you can see right there. And I came up with it for here. I guess if you look at it, you might think, okay, well, it's actually 37.45. You can call it 45. I guess we'll move it to 45. But you can see the ridge coming across here. And this is on a 2-hour chart. So key for it to hold there, let's just call it 45, then 37.45. And let's go on and move into the Aussie dollar. So the Aussie closed positive in a tight range on Monday. Support remains 73.20 with secondary support, as we had before. And I believe yesterday's low was it just held just above that too. We had 73.20 yesterday, and the low was, I guess it was 73.29 or 28. I guess maybe been 20 to 28. So held up pretty good, pretty well, 73.20. But let's pull that note back up. So the Aussie closed positive in a tight range on Monday. Support remains 73.20 with secondary support at 72.87. Resistance will remain the weekly level of 74.27. Same thing where the rubber meets the road. Until then, we're just dawdling around here. Let's go and move into the dollar yen. So the dollar yen posted a medium-legged doji, opening the possibility for a pullback. Support will be 10.06 with resistance at 10.54. Well, you can see here that they actually dipped just below 110, got to 10.995. We'll stick with that 10.06. I mean, that's what we listed. Oh, this wasn't too far off. We already had 10.09. It's 10.06. And for resistance, Resistance will be at 1054. On to the cash dollar index. Now, the cash dollar index paired back slightly on Monday, albeit within a very tight range. You can see right here. No changes, with resistance at 93.26, followed by 93.52, and support will be 92.42, followed by 92.14. Now, generally, we'll as you know, we'll keep our support and resistance generally pretty tight because we're looking at the next 24 hours to 30 hours. But as this week, we do have FOMC, we have all those earnings reports coming out. So it didn't surprise me that yesterday was very, very quiet as far as range. But once we do move, and I think we will make a big move or make a move as we go towards the end of the week, then we're looking at those key levels. And I think, as I mentioned before, we've talked about that 93.26, and then right here. And then if you look much further back, then we see the move that we can get up to 93.52, and that'd be the next key area there. Doesn't sound like much, but it sure would be. So once again, 93.26 followed by 92.52. And on the downside, if we do pair back 92.42 with 92.14 to pick up down here. Right there, 13.8. So with that, let's go on and move into Bitcoin. So Bitcoin strung 3 positive days after testing 299 on a break below 30. I don't know why I did an update. Doggone. Hang on. I don't know why that happens. So Bitcoin bolted higher on the story Amazon was leaning into a digital currencies, taking the market above 40,000. You can see that move here. Actually, the high was 40,585. The rumor was denied 14 hours later, sending the market sub 37,000. You can see that move here. Support will be 36,300. Here's that 36,263, the 38%. And I put here for 36,300. That actually should be 36,263, and we'll go with that. The 38%. And then as we were detailing here, this is a pretty key level here. 35,837 and 35,837 confluences here with the 161% of this dip down here to 37,670 on up to that high of 40,585. That comes in at 35,900. So I would look for the market eventually to visit, return on a dip back and visit this area here. And I was hoping that they may have done that as we came in today or very, very late Asia, but I guess it didn't play itself out, at least not yet. And I didn't notate for resistance. Let's go and get that. This is going to be resistance right there. 37,597, followed by 37,934. So right there, 37,597. $37,934. Let's go and move into the S&Ps. So the S&P futures posted another new all-time high on Monday. There we go. Resistance remains the 44,27. Take a look at that on the 2-hour chart, which happens to be this move up here to 43,000, on that dip down to last week. Had dipped all the way down to 42.23. And we saw this. So if you take that 127% extension, that puts us into 44.27, which is going to keep that as a resistance. And support is going to be 43.89. No, look, it came pretty close to that. Look at that. 43.90 and a quarter. So it's 43.89 followed by 43.72. And we'll take a look at where we stand here on the NASDAQ. Well, you can see the move we've made here, and we do have key reports. I mean, Tesla was out after the close yesterday, but things get rocking and rolling today. Let's go on in. There we go. So today we have, after the close, we have Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet, formerly known as Google. So those will be the key ones as far as NASDAQ coming out of the gate after the close. So once again, Apple, Microsoft, and Google. So pretty big kickoff, with tomorrow being PayPal. And that's it. And then Thursday we have Amazon, which will be key also. So like I said, we kick it off today after the close. And why same thing, I don't expect a lot of big movement here. The fireworks are going to come tomorrow, and I think Asia could be fairly busy. But once again, the resistance here is still going to remain the same. Not that we can't bolt beyond that, but that will be our resistance, which is the 127% extension, which is 15,142. We can take a look at what the 161% of that move would be. That'll be 15,331. Well, that'd be one heck of a jump. But at least we know what we're looking at here. 15,142 on 127% extension. And then for support, right now it's going to be, let's go with the ridge here at this top there. Actually go with there. 14,975. And 14,872. We had the 14,977, which we said just 975 and 872. Let's go and move into the gold market. Now I'm still close in August, but I guess for tomorrow we'll want to roll it into December. But we still have the August here, but we should be now rolling into December. Just kept it here just for some continuity from yesterday, but we will be rolling into December, really today or tomorrow. But at least for today, for the analysis, we'll keep it consistent or keep it improved with what we've been doing, which is the August. So gold closed at sub 1800 as the market remains under pressure. Support remains the 1771. You can see here, followed by 1746. Well, that's a heck of a dip. Yeah, but we'll have to see how we come out through FOMC, because maybe we would see just that. And the upside is going to be 1808. And you can see we're not even trying to even move up higher here with this market. We had 1808 from yesterday, and the market looks like they may have topped out around 12 or so. And then we dip back, and this market still remains under quite a bit of pressure. You can see here, if we do make that dip down here to 1771, and then we did show before, I think we can really on a break lower, really make that move for 1746. So no changes there. Let's go and move into the crude oil market. So crude oil posted a hanging man after recovering from sub 71. And bear with me. And you can see this hanging man that we had right there. So there we go. So crude posted a hanging man after recovering from sub 71. Here's that move. Actually, looking on the 15-minute chart, we'll move that to the 2-hour. And you can see that move, sub $71. Resistance will remain 72.53. Let's move on the upside. We potentially get up here. There's that 72.53. We're supported 71. Well, that's, yeah, 71.63. That'd be correct, 71.63. So that's what we're looking at here for crude for support. And I can still look on a very, very short-term basis. Huh. We did hold relatively, look right there. There's my 63. We did dip as low as 46. So we'll stick with the 71.63. Did bottom out 17 cents lower. And we can take a look. Again, this is the full session. On this dip, no, it's not showing it. Hang on. Okay, here's RTH, but let me flip it back to, well, there we go. So here's that dip. We did dip down here close to 71.40. You can see where they, I guess, where they come up to 71.40 here. That actually, the low for today comes in at the value area low for yesterday, which was 71.48, got down to 71.43. We've rebounded. And you can see the high comes up and runs out of gas right here around the value area high from yesterday, which is 72.30. High for the day is 72.34. So we're trading in a pretty tight range. We will be getting some data over today, but I guess I don't see anything specific that's jumping out on this. And the indices, look, they're just going to be quiet until we get past these, well, today's with lights and fireworks, and we might be in the snooze fest until we get beyond this earnings report for Apple, Microsoft, and Alphabet. That might get a fire under this. Of course, Amazon will be the following day. But with that, here's the bias chart. We'll get that posted into the room. And thanks for joining us here on the European Crossover webinar.